I'm Peter Witt, Professor Emeritus with the SECOR Youth Development Initiative, part of the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service, and the Department of Recreation, Park, and Tourism Sciences. I'm pleased to bring you a presentation on the characteristics of quality youth development programs. Today's presentation will review a landmark study of quality program characteristics conducted by a national panel of youth development experts who did an extensive review of the literature, one part of which dealt with the necessary features of positive developmental settings for youth. This video reviews the 8 features they identified. On this slide, you can see those 8 features. They begin with physical and psychological safety, structure of programs that's developmentally appropriate, supportive relationships with adults, opportunities to belong, positive social norms, support for efficacy and mattering, opportunities for skill building and mastery, and finally, integration of family, school, and community efforts. In the subsequent slides, we will review each of these characteristics. The first characteristic of quality programs for youth is physical and psychological safety and security. Safety, in all its forms, is a basic precondition of any positive youth development program. We need to provide both a safe psychological environment. In other words, settings must be free from the threat and the reality of violence. We know that witnessing or being threatened with violence can lead to psychological problems, thus the importance of dealing with the psychological elements of an environment. We also know that sanctioning or denying program access to individuals who would contribute to a physically or psychologically unsafe environment may be necessary. And finally, we need to do something about preventing bullying. Psychological safety also depends on creating a setting where all participants feel welcomed and valued, and we create the opportunity where individuals feel safe to express their ideas and establish their individual identities. In addition, safety includes the physical environment. Settings must be free from unsafe conditions, such as poorly maintained or age-inappropriate equipment. A second characteristic of quality programs is that the structure must be developmentally appropriate. So, stability and order are critical to the success of youth programs. There has to be some degree of predictability in terms of what goes on in the program. Appropriate structure in community programs for youth also includes developing clear and consistent roles and expectations, setting limits, and being clear about behavioral expectations. The program structure must also be age, developmentally, and culturally appropriate. Not every program and every program element works for every individual. Ultimately, activities should be structured in ways that maximize the likelihood of positive experiences. In other words, they provide the opportunity for mastery, success, engagement, fun, learning, creative production, friendship, and service. And finally, youth input regarding how activities should be organized is also critical. As youth get older, they should be given increased levels of responsibility with regard to program organization, content, and leadership. The next characteristic has to do with supportive relationships with adults. In any youth program, the kind of relationships established between youth and adults is critical. In any youth development context, it is imperative that youth have a strong, healthy, positive relationship with one or more caring adults. Interactions with such adults will provide an environment of reinforcement, good modeling, and constructive feedback for physical, intellectual, psychological, and social growth. These relationships should supply both emotional support, caring and responsive adults, and instrumental support, in other words, guidance. Opportunities to belong is a fourth characteristic of quality youth programs. Youth programs should provide opportunities for meaningful inclusion, regardless of one's age, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or disability. Social inclusion, social engagement, and integration are also important, and programs should provide opportunities for social cultural identity formation and support for cultural and bicultural competence. In addition, youth need the opportunity to feel that they are valued by program leaders and other participants within the program setting. Being valued can lead to feeling comfortable within the setting, and failure to feel that one belongs can be a significant barrier that can keep youth from joining activities, or once they've joined, lack of opportunities to sense belonging can lead to suspending participation. To create a sense of belonging, programs should provide opportunities for youth to participate in decision-making. They should have activities that are cooperative rather than competitive. They should have individualized contact between youth and should make an effort to help youth feel valued. Positive social norms are also important for quality youth programs. Quality programs create positive expectations for attitudes and behaviors expressed by group members. These expectations are set by both peers and group leaders. Peer pressure and expectations work to promote positive boundaries, rules, and procedures for how participants are expected to interact with each other. For example, leaders can work with youth to create positive norms for how they treat peers, and they can help create a climate that reinforces commitment to and support of other group members to achieve group goals. And finally, within positive programs, youth can help develop pro-social norms and work together to avoid the development of attitudes or behaviors that would harm individual or group. Next, we come to support for efficacy and mattering. The positive development is not something adults do to young people, but rather something that young people do for themselves with the help from parents and others, including youth program leaders. Settings need to be youth-centered by providing youth opportunities to make a difference in their own lives and the lives of others. Youth also should be given the opportunity to face challenges, develop skills to overcome those challenges, and feel that the sense of personal efficacy associated with being a critical actor in their own lives is important. And, for example, developing positive decision-making skills helps youth develop confidence in their own abilities and increases the likelihood that they will be successful in dealing with everyday problems they face in their lives. Next is opportunities for skill building. Youth programs should help youth to build and master social, physical, relationship, problem-solving, cultural, and a variety of other skills that can lead to success in later life. The development of a toolkit of skills can help youth feel competent that they can master situations at school, within their families, within work settings, and in their social lives. Involving youth in activities consistent with their interests is important, but almost any activity can be constructed to afford opportunities for youth to increase their competencies. In other words, we have to be activity and experience engineers. Thus, programs should be seen as intentional learning environments designed to help youth gain a wide variety of life skills. The final characteristic has to do with the integration of family, school, and community efforts. Programs work best when they can work across family, school, and community settings. In other words, it takes a village to raise a child. And this statement suggests that youth development is maximized when there are similarities in norms and expectations across settings, where communities develop systems and opportunities that work together to promote youth development, and when all of the supports, opportunities, programs, and services available to youth are part of a well thought out system. This approach requires communication between adults involved in these various settings and the development of an integrated set of opportunities. When efforts aren't synchronized or in line with each other, the chances for positive development are decreased. An integrated approach requires community goal setting, planning, and evaluation of success. So let's review. Quality programs have physical and psychological safety. They have structure that is developmentally appropriate. They provide supportive relationships with adults and opportunities for young people to belong. They have positive social norms. They give support for efficacy and mattering. And they have opportunities for skill building and mastery. And finally, they have integration of family, social, and community efforts. This has been a presentation of the characteristics of quality youth development programs. This is Peter Witt, wishing you a good day.